All right, you guys should see the beepy red dot in the top left corner of your screen. So,
Happy late morning or early afternoon, Torrent Tigers. We're back again for another edition of TTN6. We're happy to have you with us. Let's get to your news at a glance. Here's your news at a glance. We're going to have headline news. Then over to Chef's Corner with Mr. Terrence. Around town local update with Miss Connie. No guests this week, just Miss Connie. This Day in History with Mr. Sam. Sports with Mr. Eric. Local weather with Mr. Charles. And Pop Culture Insider with Miss Ashley. Got a great day for you. Here we go. A couple of headlines, some upcoming calendar announcements. Lyle Torrent will be virtual for the remainder of this week, February 3rd through the 5th, due to a second round of COVID-19 vaccinations for staff members. Check with your teachers on details and be ready to receive some calls from your teachers over the next couple of days. Another upcoming event is President's Weekend. There will be no school for staff and students February 12th through the 15th. So we've got that long weekend ahead of us. There will be no virtual learning on these dates. But again, check with your teachers for virtual details, further details. That is all your headline news. It is time to head over to Chef's Corner. Mr. Terrence, are you ready to get our taste buds going?
I'm ready, sir. Going a little different route today, but we're still going to be food related here. So, happy Mardi Gras, which we're not going to celebrate until the 16th. So, after President's Day weekend, that Tuesday we return on February 16th, the day before our next TNN news, will be Mardi Gras. So, I figured let's mention it today. So, let's get your ABC cards ready. Let's go to our next slide. So, which city is known for celebrating Mardi Gras? We have A, down here with the moose, Anchorage, Alaska. A. In the middle here, we have B, nice section of the Detroit River in the picture there, which is Detroit, Michigan. Or is it C, New Orleans, Louisiana, with a beautiful picture there of Bourbon Street? A, B, or C? I see Miss Ashley holding up a C. Charles got a C. C's all across the board. Destiny has a C. If you chose C, then you are correct. And Mardi Gras is typically celebrated in New Orleans. Happy Mardi Gras. Next slide, please, sir. So let's learn a little bit about Mardi Gras. What is Mardi Gras exactly? If you click our link up there, sir, we got a quick little video. And we'll learn a little bit about what is Mardi Gras and how does it relate to food. No sound on my end, sir.
People who take being silly very ill. When some people think of Mardi Gras, they think of this.
But that's actually completely wrong.
What Mardi Gras is a ton of people who take being silly very seriously.
Parties, picnics, dances, costumes. There's something for everyone at the
Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is French. Tuesday. I googled it.
New York has one parade for Thanksgiving.
New Orleans has over 40 parades for Mardi Gras. Where are we going?
You'll see. And with that much stuff going on, there's seriously something for everybody. Like music, mermaids, fire jugglers.
Cool cake with a baby inside?
They're all at the Mardi Gras. We'll talk more about the baby cake later. It's not as gross as it sounds.
Hey, wait, why are we in February and what's with all those X's?
Those are all parades, all in New Orleans, all for Mardi Gras.
What?
celebrating Mardi Gras on Fat Tuesday, the good people of the NOLA have been having parties for over a month.
NOLA is the cool way to say New Orleans, Louisiana. I Googled it.
And the magic of this holiday isn't thanks to one guy like Santa Claus. It's thanks to Cruz.
Terry Allen Cruz is an American actor and ex-football player. He is most famous for his role in many Old Spice commercials.
It's Krews. A crew. Crew's kind of like a secret society of crazy people that like the same stuff. They join forces and put on parades and giant parties. Just to do it.
That is crazy talk.
Yeah, it is. Picture 50 groups, all with 1,000 members or more, all throwing a giant costume party for the same holiday.
Hey, I do not like going to the kind of party where one guy plays guitar and the rest of us have to listen to him and pretend that we care.
Then go to a different party. They got block parties, parades with free treats, masked balls. The crew do all different stuff.
It's one of those parties for American actor and ex-football player Terry Crews.
It's actually possible, but one of those parties is definitely for Chewbacca. Remember those different crews? One of them worships the sacred Wookiee Chewbacca's and is all about spaceships and stuff.
I thought Mardi Gras was all loud idiots and rich people at masquerades and stuff.
No, I'm telling you, it's great. This one crew that loves Chewie gives out free frisbees and stuffed animals dressed up like robots and Yodas.
What is this picture? The Holy Wookiee Temple?
Now, this is just in a hot dog place on Frenchman Street. What? Yeah, that's how they do things in New Orleans. This 18-foot wide wood carving of a 6-armed Chewbacca is just in a store that sells hot dogs for the fun of it.
I want to meet Wookiee and eat hot dogs.
Then you better start thinking about your costume. They take their costumes pretty seriously for Mardi Gras. Well, I guess seriously is the wrong word for people that worship Chewbacca.
But do not fret. If you do not have a lot of time to dress up for Mardi Gras, here are a few tips we got from a local.
Mario, be the model.
Yes. Wait, what?
Remember, these are all actual tips from a New Orleans local. Number 1, okay? Wear one of those zip pouches around your waist.
Strappy pouch. Check.
Because number 2, you probably won't be wearing any pants.
Let's
So you're gonna need to move around a lot, like dance and stuff, and it's gonna be hot. It's kind of related to number 3.
What is number 3?
Show some skin.
Are you making this up?
Oh, these are for real tips we actually got.
I am not going to the Mardi Gras like this. I will be arrested.
Nah, don't worry. Says bike shorts or tights are good. That's number 4. Number 5 says embracing your feminine side is good in New Orleans, so put on makeup. Number 6 says, oh, interesting. Beads are an actual thing. Number 7 is something flashy and crazy. And number 8 is a personal touch. And that's it. That doesn't seem too...
I'm the king of the Mardi Gras.
Oh, almost forgot. We promised to tell you about the cake with the baby inside.
Oh, and don't worry, viewers that worry. It is not a real baby. It is a toy baby.
It's called a king cake. It's a gooey braided cake in a ring. And if you get the toy baby in your piece, you win, and you get to bring the cake next year.
That is the worst prize ever. 1-inch baby and responsibility.
Boy.
So that sums up New Orleans or Mardi Gras. Let's go to our next slide, please, sir. Let's look at our restaurant review of the week. It is hard finding Cajun and Creole food in Michigan, but if you feel like venturing 66.5 miles from the Torrance Center in downtown Owasso, or if you live near the area, you can swing by Lula's Louisiana Cookhouse. I've been there. It is really good. Some things I recommend there are the shrimp étouffée, jambalaya, and the fried chicken. The fun fact for Lula's Louisiana Cookhouse is they won the award for Michigan's best fried chicken, which you can see in the top right corner of your screen there. They put a nice little gravy on it. But their po' boys and their jambalaya and Cajun Creole food is amazing for the area. So if you get some time, run up there, take a break and go enjoy some food. So happy Mardi Gras, everybody. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Terrence. I'm curious, was that the gopher from Caddyshack or was that Puxatawny Phil?
You decide.
All right. Thanks for leaving that one open-ended. Oh, back to it's time for Around Town with Miss Connie. Miss Connie, are you ready to rock?
And today I'm also doing something a little bit different. And instead of talking about things that you can do in our community, we're going to talk a little bit about Valentine's. I wanted to know how many of you like to buy your Valentine's or make your own. So if you like to buy pre-made cards, show me the letter, whoops, sorry, A. And if you like making your own, show me the letter B. Oh, I'm going to scroll through here real quick. Oh, wow. We have a lot of different answers. Just about split between those of us who like to go to Myers or a store in our community and buy Valentine's and those who like them. How do you feel give Valentine cards to others? Do you feel A, happy? Oops, sorry. A, happy. B, sad. Or C, it makes you angry to give away that card. Oh, now this answer, we all agree. It makes us feel happy. So, next slide, please. With Valentine's in mind, that you guys are home a little bit more this week, decided to put in some ideas of things you can do with things you might have at home. The first thing is you can make a Valentine by using paper, a pencil, and some paint. Cut out a heart shape, lay it down, and then use the pencil eraser to stamp paint all the way around the heart. And then when you pick it up, you have a beautiful white heart surrounded by your pencil painting. Something else you can do is take a wax crayon. Acrylic will work, but to be honest with you, art crayons work better. Anything that has a lot of wax in them, you draw on your paper heart, whatever color you like to make, then add a little food coloring to water, and using a paintbrush here, or you can use a tip, you paint the entire paper over your crayon drawing, and your crayon drawing will eventually appear. Another way you could make a Valentine at home is to use paper to make a shape. This happens to be a heart. I seen a real pretty bird on one of the sites I was looking at. Use some tissue paper too and make a sun catcher. So you cut out two of the shapes, fill the inside with tissue paper, and then glue the shape on again. Trim it up. A real pretty card that you can also have. So, Mr. Eric, slide, please. And the final idea for those of you looking for something who would like to make your own Valentines, if you have some paper plates at home, these are 4 ideas of cards or projects you can make out of a paper plate. The one on the far left, they took the inside of the plate, made it into a heart, painted it, and you can't see it, but there's a little thin piece of see-through thread here that when you hold it, the heart dangles in the middle. This one, after they painted the plate, they folded it to make a cute little fox and use up here are ears made out of felt. This one they painted to look like a love bug, and you can see the bottom one, they cut a heart out of the center, colored or painted the ring, and then use yarn to go around to decorate it. So I hope this gives you some ideas of some Valentines that you might decide to make for your family and friends. That's all for me this week. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Miss Connie. Those are some great ideas for Valentine's Day. Make sure you show somebody some love on Valentine's Day. It doesn't have to be a significant other. You can show love to anyone in your life. Go ahead and take that opportunity. All right, it's time again for this day in history with the amazing showman, Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam, ready to knock our socks off.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric. I am still doing the same things, but you can tell I changed my a little bit. You'll understand that once we get into our next slide. So we'll go ahead and dive right on into it. All right, lots of stuff happened. Of course, this is the official day of Groundhog Day. I didn't bother putting that on there. But at the very top left, you can see an elephant. Well, P.T. Barnum buys world's largest elephant, Jumbo, in 1982. Looks like I have a little typo, left out a word. So that is actually the reason why I themed my picture behind it. Because this was, and it, really helped theme back then. Of course, P.T. Barnum was made more famous with the movie The Greatest Showman. So a lot of people were able to get that side. Now, when we go from a really cool thing right underneath it, looking at our black and white pictures, it's a little more sad. Buddy Holly had passed away on this date in 1959. Extremely age of 22, he died in a plane crash, as well as a few of his kids. Well, of course, he was really turning it up with rock back then, and just starting his career off. And it was a shame that it was short because of that. But switching it up at the very top center, we got that chunk of big thumbs up. Well, today, on February 3rd in 1815, the world's first commercial cheese factory is opened in Switzerland. It didn't take off really that much over in Europe, but once America was more established, it really was widespread once they were shipping the cheese over there. But there was one interesting thing I could not find. I could not find the name of this cheese factory. So anyone out there, if you're able to find it, especially if you're a student, I will give you $5 if you can tell me the name of that factory, because it seems to jump right past it every time. So, but that was the first commercial cheese factory. That means they were making cheese in mass quantities, unlike what they were doing before, where usually it was like little mom and pop shops that would do it, or just families that would make their own. And then switching topics, right below that, Walt Disney released the Three Caballeros in 1945. Now, if you have Disney Plus, you can go ahead and check out the Three Caballeros little movie. And I believe it just released in the last few years a new updated version of that movie as well. I think it was like a sequel. So it'll have a little bit better graphics. Then, following our music, Buddy Holly, over to our top right, we have Jimi Hendrix. He records the hit song Purple Haze in 1967. And that's one of his more popular songs, excuse me while I kiss the sky. That's how it goes. And then our final history fact for today is on this day in history, in 1924, the U.S. hockey team loses to Canada 6-1 in the first ever Winter Olympics. Now, Winter Olympics, I had to make a note of this. It would be the same year as the regular Summer Olympics. It started in 1924, and it would run from January 25th to February 5th. Now, this was, and they kept this same, having both Winter and Summer Olympics in the same year, all the way from 1924 to 1992. Now they split it up to where they do every 4 years for each one, but so if it was like 1990 for the Summer Olympics, it would be 92 for the Winter Olympics. They stagger it by 2 years now, not do it all in the same year, because we were saying that there were athletes Winter and Summer Olympics, and they didn't want that. They want them to do preparation. So with all that, we'll slide on over to our quiz before we move on to our next section. Our question today, you're going to get your A&B cards out there. Says, what animal did P.T. Barnum buy on February 3rd in the year 1882? Did he buy A, Grouchy Cat, or B, Jumbo the elephant? I've got to open up my screen of all my. Well, I'll say it one more time. Did P.T. Barnum buy the Grouchy Cat, A, or Jumbo the elephant? We've got backwards B from SX5. Then we got B from Mr. Charles. We got B from Mr. Terrence. We got a B from Kaylee. We got a B from Margaret. That's a big B, Margaret. We got a B from Lori. And I got to go on to the next section. B from Coreboard. Is that you, Linnell? And a B from Destiny. B from Denise. B from Kasha. And Eric keeps waving down there. We got you. All right. And if you answered B, that is absolutely correct. B. Jumbo the elephant. And of course, they have a monument that's actually been built for Jumbo the elephant as well that you can always look at. And then I put an official poster of Barnum and Bailey Circus Show from 1899. The one on the left is P.T. Barnum. And there. And that is our Today in History.
Thank you, Mr. Sam. Sticking with the circus theme, I'd like to just put out there that Mr. Sam was recently voted by our viewers as the second funniest TTN newscaster in our group. So congratulations to Mr. Sam. That's a great honor. I could definitely see you working at a circus, probably jumping out of a clown car or something like that. But definitely could see that up your alley. So
But I don't think it's going to work out.
I'll steal a quick theme line from The Greatest Showman, and I will remind everyone that TTN News 6, this is the greatest show. All right, it's time for your sports news. We got a little bit of local and state sports update. Back to MHSAA sports. Currently going through a process of some litigation and the let them play lawsuit issued January 25th, asking the Michigan Department of Health and Human Service Director Elizabeth Hertel to allow high school students to begin play on February 1st. Obviously, that has not happened up to this point. The current order stands as February 21st, but they are in progress of trying to make that date come quicker. Along the list of constitutional violation claims, Let Them Play lawsuit is saying that they're violating the rights of free education. Plaintiffs have been arbitrarily and irrationally deprived of adequate education, and the components of which the ability to socialize, engage in athletic competition. Those are the bit of the claims going on in the lawsuit. The four sports in question for the MHSAA at this time to resume are basketball, wrestling, hockey, and competitive cheerleading. And they are all, as we said before, slated to return on February 21st, which is almost 2 months behind the normal start date in a regular year. If you'd like more information on that, you can use the link below. You can also see the full written report from the Let Them Play lawsuit and check that out for yourself. Some upcoming games that we have. Illinois will be coming into Ann Arbor to play the number 4 in the nation, Michigan. Michigan has been on a 2-week shutdown due to another variant of COVID-19 in the Washtenaw County area. So you won't see this game until at this time, February the 11th at 7 p.m. It will be, we're yet to know what station that will be played on. MSU is in the headlines. They played Iowa last night. They took an 84-78 loss, moving their record to barely over 500 at 8-7. Michigan State will be back at home Saturday, February 6th at 6:30. You can watch that on the Big Ten Network. All right, and the big upcoming game that everyone's talking about, of course, it's the Super Bowl. Going to see the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can see that game February 7th. That's Sunday. You can watch it on CBS, and approximate start time is around 6:30. Of course, there's a lot of different events going on other than just the football game, commercials, and people will be performing and different things like that. So somewhere around 6:30, you'll see the start of the game. I would say probably a little bit closer to 7. This is actually an historical Super Bowl for the reason that it is for the first time being hosted at the home stadium of one of the teams in the Super Bowl. This will be at Tampa Bay's home field. So I would assume that would mean they would have a great home field advantage and opportunity to take this Super Bowl, but you'll have to tune in to see what happens. Even if you don't enjoy football, you can enjoy a lot of different things about the Super Bowl. Watching the commercials has always been a favorite for many, many people. So tune in this Sunday. It's going to be exciting. It'll be great fun for everyone. All right, quick sports quiz question. Real simple one, right on target with what we've been talking about. What team do you want to win the Super Bowl? Only 2 choices today. Is it A, Tampa Bay, or is it B, Kansas City? All right, let's go down our list here. Mr. Terrence is pointing to St. Louis. I don't think they're going to get a chance to play.
New Orleans Saints.
Oh,
Tampa beat them.
I'm right. Not St. Louis. New Orleans Saints. I'm sorry. So, Mr. Terrence, I'm going to put that as a Tampa Bay vote. Mr. Sam, I have no idea what you're putting up on the screen right now. It's an A. It's a Tampa Bay. Miss Connie is an A. Miss Ashley's an A. Who we got down there? SXI5 says B. I'll pretend I didn't see that. Mr. Charles, is that a B? Yes. And Miss Conan is a B. Kaylee is a B. Who do I have down there? Miss Margaret is an A. Very good, Miss Margaret. Let's see. Destiny is undecided. She's just excited about the commercials.
We love the commercials and the music, so we're just into that.
Everyone's a winner when you go for that.
Yep.
Miss Linnell says Tampa Bay. Miss Denise says Tampa Bay. Miss Carla, undecided. Miss Kasha says Kansas City. And that rounds us out. I think that was a close one, but I think we're leaning a little bit to the home team at Tampa Bay. So good luck to both teams. May the best team win. I'll be rooting for Tampa Bay, mainly because of Tom Brady and some of the history that could come with it. So it's going to be exciting. Tune in, everyone. Look forward to Sunday. All right, it's time to head over to Meteorology Center. Mr. Charles is reporting from an on-site location or off-site location, however you want to call it. But Mr. Charles, you ready to give us our weather?
Absolutely, Mr. Eric. Thank you so much. And as you can see, our picture here has a couple of special things, because how could you do weather this week without mentioning one of the greatest weather holidays we just had yesterday was Groundhog's Day. So there you see me peeking out the door looking for my shadow. So before we get to that, though, I'd like to see what our students, let's make some predictions on what we think the weather's like outside. A lot of us are working from home today, so maybe you haven't been out or peeked out the window. So grab out those weather cards and let's make some predictions. What does the weather look like? I see Mr. Terrence saying he thinks it's sunny outside. Destiny also says sunny. And you know, Destiny, I got kind of nervous about doing my weather forecast today after your feature in Tiger Zoom News. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Mr. Charles, if you could sing the What's the Weather song, that might give you a notch up.
I'm gonna have to practice up for next TTN News. It's not in my my script here. Miss Ashley
I'll
says.
give you a pass.
Miss Ashley says sunny. Miss Lori says sunny. Lots of sunnies. And you know what, you guys? Let's check the actual Jackson weather to see if we're correct. Mr. Eric, could you click on the question mark on the TV screen there? The weather in Jackson today, you know what? What am I doing here? You guys all did such a great job yourselves. It is sunny outside. It is 28 degrees though. So just because it's sunny does not mean you can go outside without your coats and hats. You got to make sure you're bundled up. Somebody's having an emergency there. Make sure you're wearing your hats and your coats and your gloves when you're going outside. It is still sunny. It is still cold outside, although it is sunny. It's going to get up to 34 today. Nice heat wave in February. And the low tonight is going to be 18 degrees. So if you head back, Mr. Eric, we are going to talk a little bit more about Groundhog's Day. You go ahead and click on our friend, Mr. Groundhog there. And we're going to watch a quick little video about why groundhogs can predict the weather.
As the tradition goes, every year on February 2nd, Phil the groundhog comes out of his hole and pucks up his feet. If he sees his shadow, we'll supposedly get 6 middle weeks of winter. If he doesn't see his shadow, winter is supposedly over. Seems bizarre, right? So how is that groundhog become a go-to animal for predicting the weather?
That's not bad for a quadruped. You gotta check your mirror, just side of your eye. Side of your eye.
Tradition comes from Germany. On an old religious holiday called Candlemas Day, the Germans paid attention to the badger. Candlemas Day was the midpoint between winter solstice and the spring equinox, around February 2nd. If the badger saw its shadow, it meant that a second winter was coming. When the practice came to the U.S. in 1887, the groundhog was chosen because badgers aren't native to eastern North America. Seem random, there is some logic to turning to the groundhog for weather prediction. Like badgers, groundhogs, also known as woodchucks or whistlepigs, are considered true hibernators. When they emerge from hibernation, it means winter is almost over. In winter months, their body temperature drops 62 degrees. Comparatively, if a human body temperature drops just 4 degrees, it goes into hypothermia. A groundhog's hibernating heartbeat is only 5 beats per minute. In warmer months, its heartbeat 80 times per minute. Their breathing slows down in winter too. It can go from 16 breaths per minute to about 2 during hibernation. However, the idea that groundhogs are predicting the weather when they come out of hibernation may be a bit of a stretch.
It's 6 more weeks of winter. It must be.
The real reason groundhogs come out of their holes in early February is to look for mates. Mating season is in March, so they wake up a little early to scope out potential partners, and then return to their burrow to wait out the winter. Whether the groundhog sees its shadow on February 2nd has more to do with the weather that day than the groundhog itself. After all, Puxatawny Phil has only been right about 30% of the time.
What? Get it right for a change.
So we're probably better off listening to meteorologists, or just flipping a coin.
Thank you for that, Mr. Eric. Lots of exciting and interesting information about Groundhog's Day that I wasn't aware of before doing this. Now, if you click to the next slide, I hope you're paying attention. Our quiz today, the answer was mentioned in there in that video. So before it came to America and the groundhog was chosen, what animal was used to predict the weather there would be 6 more weeks of winter? Is it A, the badger, B, the beaver, or C, the aardvark? What do you guys think? Badger, beaver, or aardvark? What was used before the groundhog was. I see Mr. Sam saying B, the beaver. Lots of A's. Miss Kaylee saying A. Let's see. I'm looking for Miss Molly. I'm flipping through. There you are. No Omir today. What's going on? You know what? I'm seeing mostly A's on my screen here. And you know what? You guys are correct. It was A, the badger. The badger was most native to Germany, and that's where the practice began. But the badgers just weren't native to America, so we had to make it our own. If you're going to switch to the next page, we have a couple more interesting facts about Groundhog's Day. That's Punxsutawney Phil. Try saying that 10 times fast. Punxsutawney Phil. And as it said in our video, his predictions are roughly only 30% correct. So you do have a better chance of predicting the weather just by flipping a coin. That's a 50% chance right there. However, according to legend, the Phil that predicted the weather in 2021 is the same Phil that predicted the weather in 1886. Now, this would be 15 times longer than a typical groundhog's lifespan. The way he gets this longevity of life is by drinking the elixir of life. It's a secret recipe. And Phil takes one sip every summer at the groundhog picnic, and it magically gives him 7 more years of life. I'd like to get a hold of that elixir there. And actually, when you Google how many Punxsutawney Phils there have been, everything that comes up is one, and everything goes to this secret elixir of life. I tried doing some deep dive digging here, but sure enough, just one Phil. He's been going strong. But that about wraps up our interesting weather fact and our weather report for today, Mr. Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Wow, I learned a lot about groundhogs. Is gopher the same as groundhog, Mr. Charles? They mentioned that terminology.
I don't believe so. In the video, it says groundhogs are also known as whistle pigs. That was a new one for me. And woodchucks.
Okay. Thank you very much. The jury is still out whether Mr. Charles or Mr. Terrence had the best groundhog today. Maybe Mr. Terrence was a gopher. I don't know. If Miss Ashley pulls out a gopher or a groundhog, something's up. All right. I hinted to it. It's time for Miss Ashley and her pop culture insider. Miss Ashley, we're ready for you.
All right. Well, don't go for groundhog or any buck teeth for my session today. Mr. Eric, if you'll click the next slide, we're actually going to talk about Black History Month today. And that is a very big celebration that takes across the entire month of February. And it's important for us to discuss why we celebrate it. So, Mr. Eric, if you will hit play on that video.
The month of February is designated as Black History Month. In the United States, it is a time to honor the important role African Americans play in the story of our country. The idea began as a week-long celebration in 1926, organized by historian Carter G. Woodson and others. It coincides with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, a brilliant orator who escaped slavery and spent the rest of his life working to stop it, and President Abraham Lincoln, who issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, which led to the eventual end of slavery in the U.S. Others who fought to end slavery include famous women like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. Woodson's idea caught on, and soon schools and communities around the country began organizing celebrations, starting history clubs and hosting events to learn more about Black history and culture. The Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s sparked even greater interest in the many accomplishments of notable African Americans, who excelled in all areas of life despite obstacles and hardships. Like scientist George Washington Carver, educator Mary McLeod Bethune, baseball great Jackie Robinson, entertainer Oprah Winfrey, and President Barack Obama. Black history is American history. Black History Month is a special time to focus on and learn more about Black culture and people of African descent who have made American life richer. How is Black History Month celebrated in your school or community?
For lesson plans, visual resources, and more teacher support materials, visit pbskidslearningmedia.org.
Okay, so each of our classrooms in Torrent kind of celebrate Black History Month a little bit different. And I know a lot of us have done a lot of discussions about Martin Luther King because that was a couple weeks ago that we celebrated him. So this month, I want you guys to send me an email or send your teacher an email of ways or take a picture of ways that you guys are celebrating Black History Month. And I will feature you next TTN6 News as Tigers in the Spotlight. But Mr. Eric, back to our question. You want to know, were you guys paying attention? Who started Black History Month? Was it A, Frederick Douglass, B, Carver Woodson, or C, Martin Luther King Jr. started it? All right, I see lots of B's. I thought I tricked somebody because I did see an A, and it actually is Carver Woodson. He started it with a week-long celebration and has since expanded to a full month. But it is done in conjunction with February for Frederick Douglass's birthday. So for my friend that pulled up A, you were not totally off the mark there. And then Mr. Eric, if you go to the next slide, birthdays this month, we have Miss Kennedy's birthday on February 1st. And Miss Kennedy is in my room. We have Miss Jenna, who is Mr. Sam's virtual TA. Her birthday on February the 8th, and she turns 5 this month. Hiring his staff pretty early. We also have Caleb's birthday on February 25th. So if you see any of our friends from transition, please wish them a very happy birthday. From all of us to you guys, we hope your February rocks. And Mr. Eric, that is it for me.
Thank you, Miss Ashley. That is actually it for all of us today. So I'd like to give a big thank you to all of our viewers for joining us for another edition. And from myself and all my colleagues here at TTN News 6, I'd like to remind you to go out there today and roar. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.